live my day, live my day.
Hi guys, it's Chloe and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. So as you can tell from the title of this video, this week I'm going to be doing a video I haven't done in a little while, and that is what I have been reading this month as an English literature student. Now obviously uni is over, as I've said in multiple videos, so this isn't like set books I have to read, but I do still enjoy reading books. I am buying my books for next year very soon, so I will start reading them. So I think this might be the last one of this kind of video, like what I've been reading video. I'm going to post until I go back to university, only because obviously when I go back to uni there will be a lot more content, so yeah, let's just get on with the video. Okay, so I'm just going to start off with a book that I have read quite a few times, but after the film came out for this book this year, well, just recently, I decided that I wanted to reread it, and that is After by Anna Todd. I do have the rest of the collection as well. Me and my mum are currently sharing them, so I've just read this one and then she started reading this one, and I'm on like the second one now, but I haven't really started that. I've only read like the first few pages. But After is a fan fiction on Wattpad that was originally a One Direction fan fiction, which shows how old I am now. I feel really old. That was like written quite a long time ago, and this is like my favourite ever fan fiction that I read as a child. And then when it was brought out as a book, the names were obviously changed, and I'm going to be honest, I fell in love with it over again, because I know like originally it was a One Direction fan fiction, but when you read the book with other characters' names, you kind of develop your own like image of that person. Like Tessa, I've always had a certain image of Tessa anyway, but the person who plays Harden was originally Harry Styles, so with Harden you kind of get your own kind of imagination of who it is, so I kind of have a mixture of like seeing Harry but not really, if that makes sense. Anyway, it just shows that like if you read a book that's the same kind of idea but it has different character names, then it does give you your own imagination. I definitely do recommend reading the After series. If you don't want to buy the books, as I said, you can find it on Wattpad, but the only difference is the Wattpad version is the One Direction one, whereas this isn't. This is a completely different version of the book. Okay, so the next few books that I talk about are ones that are going to be on my iPad. There is only actually 3 extras, because as I said, I'm not at uni, so I'm not reading as much as I would normally. But this is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Have I got that the right way around? Let me just check. I get so confused. I can't remember who wrote Wuthering Heights and who wrote Jane Eyre. Yes, so Jane Eyre was by Charlotte Bronte, however you say it. Anyway, Jane Eyre. I love this book. This book has been my favourite book ever since I was about 10, 11. And this has always been a book that I've loved reading. If you haven't seen the film, which is on Netflix, that is very good. Also, I did watch that, and I think that's what kind of made me want to get into reading the book again, because the film kind of off-put me completely. Like, it was a good film, don't get me wrong, but it's not as good as the book. It isn't as good as the book, and I always feel like when they make films of books like that, they're never as good. So I definitely recommend reading the book over watching the film. But if you want to read the book and watch the film, then that's completely up to you. But as I said, I think the book is a lot better than the film. Okay, next I'm going to move on to a book which I have been watching the TV series for on Now TV. Now I know this isn't good because like you shouldn't watch a TV series before you read a book, and that shouldn't be the reason why you read that book. But this is called The Truth About Harry Quebert. Truth About the Harry Quebert Affair. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but the film has Patrick Dempsey in, and when I saw that it was a book, I was like, so I downloaded the book onto my iPad. It's written by Joel Dicker. It was originally a French book which was written by Sam Taylor, so it is translated into English, but it's basically all about this girl in 1970s America who falls in love with a famous writer who's also a teacher, and he ends up publishing a book which isn't actually his, and she goes missing and ends up dead, blah blah, and it's just really really good. So I definitely recommend watching the TV series, and I'm halfway through the book and I'm loving the book just as much. So yeah, that was that book. And then the next and final book is a book that I downloaded last night on my iPad that I've read like the first 4 pages for, just to get a feel for it, and it's called My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. And so far, oh my gosh, it is so good. So it's like an intense kind of thriller book, and I love it so much. I definitely recommend, if you have an iPad, to pop onto the Apple bookstore, because they have different kind of books that aren't just love stories. Like when you go into shops, I feel like they're all love stories, whereas I like the more historical ones and with like a thriller kind of background, or if they're actually based on a true story or something like that. Like I'm so into all the traditional ones, so like Pride and Prejudice and Wuthering Heights, and then obviously Jane Eyre and stuff like that. Like Pride and Prejudice is one of my favourite books ever, and you can never ever dismiss The Great Gatsby either. But I do like to have these kind of books that kind of go into the author's mind and you see how they are like imagining this kind of thing, and it helps you to become your own kind of person. Anyway, sorry about that. As I was saying, it kind of gives you, if you are an English student, your own imagination and your own kind of like ideas on what can be published. Like you might have these crazy ideas of writing and what you want to write. Say if you're doing for a creative writing like module like I did last year or this year, then you don't seem as crazy, if that makes sense, because it's already been done. Like crazy has been done, like you don't need to worry about that at all. So that's the end of the video. I am sorry that this is probably going to end up being shorter than the rest of the videos that are to do with my reading, but as I said, it is summer. I'm not reading as much as I do read at university. But anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. All the books I spoke about will be linked in the description box down below, so make sure you check them out. But apart from that, I shall see you guys next week for a new video. Bye!